Greetings. This is Sundays with Sky. I'm your host, Sky. Um, Wanted to just get into a few things. Talking about the flooding in Wisconsin and Milwaukee and the surrounding southeast areas of the state of Wisconsin. How the flooding actually prevented and canceled much of a greater portion of the Wisconsin State Fair. I think that they don't say it. They don't say it that much. The reporters really don't say it. They really. I don't think they can because it's too political. It's kind of like divisive, and it kind of goes against their roles as just hold on. Okay, I think we're good now. I think so. Anyway. Cox and Sullivan. Yeah, so we have officials. We have the mayor, who happens to be a man of color. Just happens to be, a lot of people like, oh, there's black people in Wisconsin? And of course, there's a large black community of people in Milwaukee, especially. I'm sure in the surrounding areas as well, in Green Bay and other locales. Yeah, so let's just get into the video. See what this white woman has to say.
Are safe, and as mentioned previously, we are still in the early stages of assessing the impact of these historical rains, and we will be sure to share updates on those as they become available. At this time, our primary focus is assessing the Fair Park. Our team is working diligently to assist our vendors, exhibitors, and staff members to address their needs. A determination for unused State Fair admission tickets will be made in the coming days. Currently, our priority is our grounds and everyone on our grounds as we close out the 2025 fair. Please stay tuned to our website and our social media channels for additional updates in the coming days. You can find that at wistatefair.com/updates. With today's closure, we are hopeful that the safety resources normally dedicated to the fair can now be utilized to support other southeastern Wisconsin. And finally, I hope you'll understand that while we have a lot of work ahead of us, so please, I will just take a couple questions. We do not have any major damage at this point. Really, we have a lot of cleanup to do. So we're just in the process of going through all of that.
I saw a comment, something about culverts, not culverts, but pipes in place here on the fairgrounds to kind of mitigate the water. Can you tell a little bit about if that's true? It was one comment on social media, but how were those backed up? Was there too much rain for the fairgrounds to handle?
It was too much rain. We have never had such a high amount of rain during my time here at the park. So we did see an exceptional amount, and I think all of southeastern Wisconsin saw that. And just the combination of what we have here at our facilities. So yes, those areas got backed up, as well as many municipalities. I think that we have all heard that as well.
Is there any plan to make up for that area if they have lost?
Unfortunately, we cannot make up today. We wish we could, certainly, but we're just not able to do that. Our vendors, our ride operators, everyone is moving on to their next set of dates at this point.
Were there any individuals that were hurt, like the state saw a lot of people on social media going barefoot and extremely dirty waters? Any drowning incidents, people just slipping?
There were absolutely no incidents.
She's repeating what the questioner is saying, but not exactly what it is. But she's doing a pretty good job letting the questioner say the full question and then repeating it back so that the people that can't hear whatever they're asking, can actually hear what is being said. So salute to this lady. There's a lot of people that just launch into the answer. I'm guilty of that. I just launched right into the answer and I don't repeat the question. But she's doing a very good job, I think.
Of drowning. As far as I am aware, we do not have any major injuries that we have been notified of. But no, there were absolutely no drownings.
Were there any precautions you guys took before the storm came?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Any precautions you guys took before the storm came?
We are always prepared. That's just part of our nature of our business. While we certainly don't want something like this to ever happen, we do prepare for situations like this. Safety and security is always our number one concern.
Do you know what kind of estimated, economic impact there might be from canceling today and closing early yesterday?
At this time, we have not assessed what that is going to be like. I can tell you that while, as I said, safety and security is always our number one concern, money certainly is a priority because we have to be able to pay our bills. We had 10 great days of the Wisconsin State Fair, so we're so thankful for that. But I can tell you that given the nature of our business, we do work with the state of Wisconsin and risk management to make sure that we are taking care of any types of needs that we need for insurance, and we will certainly be working through that in the next few months.
There are a lot of people that said if they would have been prepared with the Wisconsin Fair personnel or some major position, was called off sooner. They want to get out of here and not a lot of cars driving through heavy waters. Was that what happened? Was there a history of going through law or not?
So I can give you a real quick kind of overview of what our timeline was. As I mentioned in our statement, I personally was sitting in our with our meteorologists, and we were going over what the weather looks like. And as all of you have meteorologists at your stations, you understand how rapidly the weather can change. So as we began monitoring at that 4:30 time, we watched as the rain was coming. We were making announcements when we felt that we wanted people to seek shelter, when there were thunderstorm warnings put in place. We also continued to monitor for our concert. We delayed the entrances into the grandstand because there was lightning in the area. We continued watching as it progressed. We found, as we were looking at the maps and getting that input from our meteorologist, which is with the National Weather Service, we felt that we had an opening. We thought it could be perhaps 90 minutes to 2 hours that we could possibly squeeze in that main stage show, because we always want to have those shows for our fairgoers if we have that opening. And so we decided to progress with that. Unfortunately, shortly after we started bringing people into the grandstands, suddenly lightning popped up. And obviously, as you know, that torrential rain then happened shortly after. It continued much longer than we expected. The storm just kept building, and we're told that there were storms upon storms, and that's why the rain was so heavy. There was so much pressure behind it that it just kept building and producing more rain. Once we realized what was happening, we were making announcements. We were putting out social media updates and asking people to leave the grounds safely. We also were putting out announcements that the tunnel was not accessible at that time, and we were directing those that were parked on the track to use the gate that's near our main stage and expo center, or on the north end of the grounds to go in through turn 4.
Do you know the last time that you had to have a cancellation like this for a state fair day?
We did. We had an interruption a number of years ago when there was a power surge, and unfortunately the park lost power and the grounds people had to be evacuated because we could not service them without the power. I believe that was mid-2000s when that occurred.
Looking to a more positive note, 2026, when is that time of planning start? In the press release, we posted on Facebook, that says basically it's only government, it's only a preparation. So how are we looking forward to next year when the gaming is lost?
So we are already having those meetings. It actually takes a little bit longer than a year to plan a fair. So we do have things, we have offers out on acts for our main stage. But this is certainly something that we are learning from, as we always are. We always have those kind of breakdowns that we do after our fair to assess where we were at on various activities that happened during the fair. We have a lot of team meetings as we plan then for the 2026 fair.
Thank you all. We're gonna get Sherry back on the grounds to assess more. We appreciate you coming. Please, please, please drive safe as you guys get back to the stations. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, sorry, I don't need to do that.
Okay, so it's pretty much dead air for 5 minutes. I don't know why, but that's okay. I'm gonna try to go back to see if
right now I'm gonna go ahead and send it out live. We're gonna hear.
I'm gonna get to that in a few minutes, but yeah, they can't say anything. They can't say, oh, it's global warming. It's climate change. They got to shoot it down the line. It's not even really objective. It's just they can't be opinionated, because that's opinions. It's a fact that there's climate change. I'm not denying that. I'm not a climate change denier. All I'm saying is you have to look at the culprits behind climate change, and the culprit that is not in the lineup is fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are not the problem. They're not the issue. They should be burned. They should be completely consumed and produced, primarily produced. And that's the reason why we have a society as complex and advanced and sophisticated as we have, to a larger degree. Of course, we have pockets of poverty and misdirection and terrible conditions. But for the most part, we're pretty good. We're okay. We're very good. We're not excellent, but we're very good. I think that they really wish they could explain for themselves the idea of whether it's global warming or not. But that's not their job. That's for pundits and scientists and people like that to say. It's very sketchy. It's sketchy because there's so many people that have the idea that, oh, we keep burning coal and oil and natural gas, we're going to set ourselves back 5,000 years. It's not going to be good. That's not the problem. Don't blame the tool. The tools of oil, natural gas, and coal are too precious and too great and too wonderful to even consider for being demonized and damned, as I've said in previous posts. So the flooding that you see around the country, the wildfires, all these different phenomena that occur, they are a result of anything else but fossil fuels. And if it were, let's just say it was fossil fuels, so be it. I'd rather have sophisticated technology that can battle wildfires and flooding than to retract these glorious elements from our society, and to continue on with the idea that we live in a world now that is not collapsing around us. The world is all right. That's the thing with Earth. I mean, these people are these Earth people. It's just ironic almost. It's almost like Stockholm syndrome. It's like oh no, the Earth needs to be saved. We need to save the whales and the snails and the bees and the trees. Oh my God, it's all coming down to hell. It's not the case. Not the case. And the Earth will always take care of itself. It's been doing that for the past 4 billion years. We just came here around 100,000 years ago. Maybe. Possibly. Something like that. 200, 300. 100,000 to 300,000 years ago, Homo sapiens came upon the earth. Okay, Rot with me is high on cocaine, I guess. I don't know what he's allegedly. I don't know, but he's saying the problem is no one will accept the earth is flat. Okay. Now we're going into the weeds. We're going way into the weeds when we start talking about the earth is flat. If you've ever been on a plane, if you just been on the ground, if you ever been just held your hand up to the sky and just looked up, you could tell that there's a curvature in the atmosphere. That means that the earth is round. If you jump into the air just on earth, that means that it's not flat. It was a Xan-induced night. I bet it was, Rot with me. I bet it was, Rot with me. Definitely Xan-induced. You talking out your neck now. I don't see it. I do not. He says see it. I don't see it. All right, rocking power to Zach Lee. Whatever happened to Zach Lee? I had no issues with Zach Lee. I never had a problem with him. Y'all obviously had a problem with Zach Lee. I don't know why y'all did. I don't know. Never had an issue with that man. Never had an issue. Anyway, I'm gonna go to this next clip. This is interesting. I'm gonna try to, it's pretty good because, like I said, people are like, "What? There's black people in Wisconsin and Milwaukee? Wasn't there? Wasn't Jeffrey Dahmer from Wisconsin and Milwaukee? He was killing black folk." The Bussy Warrior, exactly. Salute to you, Bumba. Salute to you, sir. Matter of fact, check out. I'm trying to raise $500 today. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal is popping. Make sure you drop in at least $10 and tell another friend to drop in $10 and see how far we get. All right, so $0 raised of $500. Let's get it. Zach Lee was funny, but why was he always talking about gay stuff? Hey, yo. I don't know. I don't even know how we got onto Zach Lee. We're talking about flash floods in Wisconsin, southeast Wisconsin, and Milwaukee. They had to shut down the state fair. State fair was flooded. It was up to people's knees. Well, not knees. It was up to people's, at least their calf muscles. Somewhere around there. Most people's calf muscles. And kids were playing in it like it was a water park. All right, so let me get this video jumping.
Hear from Milwaukee's Mayor Cavalier Johnson. He's briefing the media on the historic flooding that we've seen.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you all so much for being out here on the notice that we gave you to address the situation that's going on. Now, there are thousands and thousands of people in Milwaukee that are dealing with the aftermath of the flooding that happened overnight. We're seeing reports from some parts of the city that have received more than a foot of rain in a very short period of time. This flooding event, it's very significant. It's something that Milwaukee hasn't seen in perhaps a decade or more. I remember the last time we had a flood as significant as this in the city. And absolutely, certainly, I mean, as I've traveled here, I've seen some of the devastation. My own family members have texted me about some of the issues that have happened in their homes. So I certainly feel for the people who are dealing with the aftermath of this storm and the flood that's happened. My heart goes out to everyone dealing with basement flooding, that have been dealing with power outages, damage to cars, having trees that were uprooted in and around their properties, and a list of other things that have happened as well. Very, very devastating, and my heart again goes out to all of our citizens dealing with that. Now, we've seen some major property damage. I'm grateful that as of now, and there's not been any update to this, but apparently there's been no death that have been associated with these floods as of now. So I'm praying that that continues to be the case as we move forward here. I do ask, though, for everybody to maintain caution, to continue to proceed with caution, because there are a number of risks that are still out there as we work to recover and clean up from the storm. I can tell you that city government continues its major response that's been underway since earlier on in this rain event. our lead city agencies, the fire department, the police department, public works, emergency management, they've all been active and without interruption since this event started to happen in our community. We're prioritizing our specific responses, and we're very appreciative of everyone's patience as we work through what happens to be a really long list of needs that are happening here. My team has been in touch with the governor's office about an emergency declaration, and we've been working very closely with Milwaukee County to coordinate shelter, safety, and other necessities for residents right here in our community. So I'm joined by a number of staff from my cabinet who have been working literally around the clock on this issue. And I want to thank folks from my cabinet who've been working on this. I'm going to open the mic to them for their comments in just a moment. But first, I want to give the mic to Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley. So, County Executive.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say thank you all for joining us. And first and foremost, want to reiterate.
Hold on. Why didn't they get this man? He does look like Muggsy Bogues. That's a good point, Rob, with me. Other guy didn't look too much like, what's his name? Alonzo Rivera. Is that his name? I can't. Hold on. Let me make sure I get his name right. I don't want to get confused with people's names. Alfonso. That's it. Not Alonzo. Alfonso Rivera. But he kind of looks like a darker skinned Muggsy Bogues. And why didn't they get this nigga? Why did this get nigga a tissue or a towel? Look like he got smacked in the side of his face with a water balloon. They couldn't get his. It's not his fault. I don't think. Maybe he can see. Maybe he's just. He wasn't worried about it. I mean, maybe the gravity of the situation was such that he didn't really concern himself with it. But it just looks weird. Just that one side, that right side of his head, of his glasses. You know, he's looking down. He's looking up again. Somebody could have gave him a tissue. That's all I'm gonna say. It's not his fault. Somebody could have gave him a tissue.
That our top priority remains to be the life and the safety for all Milwaukee County residents. And I've had a chance to tour some of the damage, been without power myself. And so I want folks out there to understand that we see and we hear you when it comes down to the damage and the devastation. We also want folks to understand that the flooding is still an active emergency situation all across Milwaukee County, and that we are expecting more rain today and into this evening. And so my team, we're working actively with municipal first responders all across Milwaukee County to address the immediate needs of the affected people and to assure the safety of the entire public. And so with that in mind, I am declaring a state of emergency all across Milwaukee County to empower our emergency management personnel to deploy more additional resources to activate our state and federal partners to assist us with our efforts right here on the ground within Milwaukee County and to help people be safe. And we want to do this as swiftly as possible. But in the meantime, we want to remind the public to please stay cautious, please stay informed, and refrain from traveling if you can. Make sure to call 911 if there is an emergency. But people can also call 211 to report any property damage such as flooding in your basements, collapsed walls, and lightning-related incidents as well. And so we know that people may see their basements flooded, but please take precaution. You know, wear rubber boots, wear rubber gloves. There are a lot of debris and a lot of hazards in the water that you may not know about, and we want people to be safe. And so as we navigate the aftermath of last night's severe flooding and storms, I am encouraging the public to stay indoors as much as possible and seek out emergency assistance if you absolutely need it. We've been working with the Red Cross, also standing up emergency shelters on the south side of Haller Park. And so if you want more information on how to stay safe at this time, that information is available at WEM.wi.gov. Again, WEM.wi.gov. An emergency operations center has also been established to coordinate our response efforts throughout tonight and into the remainder of this weather emergency. And then lastly, I just want to say thank you to the community in general, those who have been stepping up to assist those in need, stepping up to to remove debris in the way of allowing this water to go into our sewers. And so I just want to say thank you to all those people, our first responders, our law enforcement partners, as well as our social service workers and neighbors who have been lending a helping hand. We will get through this together, and it's extremely important that we just stay informed and stay vigilant throughout this time. And so please continue to watch the news, stay updated on Facebook. But if you are looking for more information, again, you can contact 211. Or if you need an emergency personnel, please don't be afraid to call 911. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, County Executive. He's right. We'll all get through this together.
Are safe, and as
So there we have it. The man needed a tissue for those that right sunglass. Eyeglass. I don't think there are any fatalities. I don't think there are any injuries. It's just a lot of property damage and things of that nature. And that's not really funny either. I'm not trying to make light of the situation, but I'm just trying to show you the other side of the flooding. You know, and it stopped. They're famous. Wisconsin is famous for its state fair. I think Illinois is famous for its state fair. Just in that whole like Midwest kind of situation, is very famous for their fairs. They have the sculpted, butter cow, the cow made from butter and stuff like that. It's like they go hard. They have deep fried, chicken feet or whatever the case may be. Yeah, Iowa. Thank you. Iowa is in Minnesota. Yeah, yep. They're really precious about their state fairs. I need to move to that town. 5'4" seems to be the average height. Yeah, I know. They didn't seem to be that tall. They looked like they were like 5'5", 5'6", maybe. I don't know. Oh yeah, all we got in Texas is Astroworld. That's what everyone says. You got to have more. Go to Austin. Don't go to Houston. Go to Austin. Go to another place in Austin. I think Astroworld is in Austin. I can't remember, but there's many venues, music venues. There's intellectual pursuits that are in Austin. I know objectivism is heavy there in Texas and Austin. So kangaroo tail is banging. Trust me. Yeah, they got deep fried kangaroo tail. They got deep fried raccoon assholes. So Austin Giz as F. I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know what you're saying. Is Astroworld in Houston? I think it's in Houston, right? It's not in Austin. Austin is, a different side of Texas, definitely. Goddamn what? Joe Rogan owns Austin. Oh wow, okay. Yeah, H-Town. Got you. Okay. Hey, so it just you got to find a way to do it. I mean, like I said, Delaware, not famous for really anything except for one thing, the first state. That's about it. And then if you dig a little deeper, you see, more than half the Fortune 500 companies are incorporated here. Not headquartered here, but incorporated here. We actually have no sales tax, no tax on consumption. It should be the reverse. There should be no tax on income. I own Joe Rogan. How do you own Joe Rogan? Rot with me. Tell me how you own Joe Rogan. But yeah. So exactly. That is the classic. That's on T-shirts. That's on mugs and keychains and gift shops. Delaware. It's like it's goofy. It's like Delaware. Where's that? Is that a state? Are there black people in Delaware? I don't know. I got it. I've gotten it all. My travels outside of this state. I've gotten everything. I've been through multiple cities and locales and states, and I've encountered all of that. That is a classic thing. Delaware, yeah. Lauren LaRosa is from Delaware. I don't even know who Lauren LaRosa is. I'm gonna look that up. Hopefully, I won't be disappointed. Wait, that's not true. Lauren LaRosa from Breakfast Club? Are you talking about her? You gotta give me who the hell. Give me a link. Give me a link to who the hell Lauren, whatever her name is, Lauren LaRosa. Give me a link. I ain't got time. Shoot, looking up people. Send in $10 and I might do a show about her. But Suki Hana is definitely from Duval. Okay. But Suki Hana is definitely from Wilmington, Delaware. Deladon, I can't remember her first name, is from Delaware. Aubrey Plaza is from Delaware. There's a few people. And we had, our lame duck from the beginning, President Joe Biden. He's from Delaware. So he was born in Scranton, but he's really a Delawarean. He really fits the bill, Plain, not really exceptional. I think Delaware is the greatest state in the union, but I could be wrong. So Minnesota, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, and Wisconsin. They really take their state fairs very seriously. Yeah, Biden definitely takes the whole state. Thank you. That's true. YSLL as gay as New York now. What's YSLL? I don't know what YSLL is. Route with me. You gotta, fill me in. Pause. Y'all as gay as New York now. Who is y'all? And why is New York gay? What makes New York gay? New York is the financial powerhouse of the entire globe. Without just take away the stock market tomorrow, Monday morning. There's no stock market. The whole world will be demolished. There'll be no world. Take away the financial sector. There'll be no globe. There'll be no Earth. No sophisticated, developed Earth anyway. And what is that horrible fitted you rocking? This is Delaware, and it's Wilmington, Delaware. Wilmington, Delaware, representing the Blue Rocks. The Blue Rocks is a minor league team that plays in Wilmington, Delaware. I know it was a freebie. It's not a freebie. This is actually, I think $30 to $40, I think, something like that. Stitched, hand stitched. Look at the detail, and then look at this. Look at that, 50-50. Official. All right, I'm gonna show another clip. Hold on. So I just wanted to give you another taste of the rushing waters that have taken over a city. That's just as amazing as I can say. Zash Lee stays on 118th and Wilmington and Compton, allegedly. Coincidence or MK Ultra? What? Zach Lee sounds like he's from Compton. Okay. Y'all coming to my live talk about Zach Lee. I don't think I've ever even had any engagement with Zach Lee whatsoever. But y'all talk about this Zach Lee figure. It's amazing to me. All this time, you could have been giving me $10, $20 donations. You want to talk about Zach Lee? Okay. It's human nature. It's human nature. That's human nature, I guess. So it just really hits me in the gut, because I'm like, this is the thing that I'm saying. Okay, so I'm not demonizing or making an enemy of fossil fuels. So what is it that is causing all these global heat index being raised, or the global warming or the climate change? What is it? Because I'm never going to blame coal and natural gas and oil. Never going to do it. Everybody wants to see a boogeyman. The boogeyman is coal, natural gas, and oil. But it's really not. It's the savior. There would be no guards and infrastructure or anything like that without these fossil fuels. So it's really ironic when people say like they're don't burn fossil fuels, when they have to use the fossil fuels to write on their posters or write down, all that requires energy production, and all that is coal, oil, and natural gas, not wind turbines, not solar panels, nothing of the sort. So I just want, who is it? What is it? What is it? I know what it's not. But I don't know what it is. I read 2 books, The Moral Case for Fossil Fuels and Fossil Future. I didn't glean anything from it that said, what the reason was because of, what the reason of global warming was. I didn't get that. I didn't understand that. I didn't see that. And it's my fault. It's not the writer's fault. Alex Epstein, he wrote wonderful, beautiful, great, profound works with his books and his work with the Center for Industrial Progress. So what is it? What is the issue? What can we point to? And is that even really yeah, Epstein. It's a totally different Epstein, sir. But what is it? And do we have to say there has to be a point a finger? It's because of that. It's because of that. I know it's because of that. I say what it's not, but I can't say what it is. I don't know what it is. That's just the reality. Let me see if I can find another clip.
Storms rolling through our area have made a huge impact today in southeast Wisconsin. The main stage headliner at State Fair, Leonard Skinner, canceled due to weather. Even Thomas Rhett's show at Alpine Valley was under a lightning alert, now underway. But this is a time lapse of the storms as they rolled through downtown Milwaukee. Take a look at this video from State Fair. This is why the State Fair officials chose to close the fair early tonight. There was so much water coming down, kids were playing in it like a splash pad. we have seen tons of flash flooding on cameras throughout the area. This is near 83rd and Greenfield, near the McDonald's in West Dallas. That's just south of State Fair Park. Looks like water halfway up some of the cars there as they try to drive through it. And on some more streets outside of State Fair, just being flooded there. Again, we are seeing this kind of flash flooding all over the place. And take a look at this. This is right outside American Family Field, just as tonight's Brewers game was ending, where more of the same. The road looks a lot more like a river. Let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Tom Watson. Tom, we've seen a lot of rain. Actually, we're going to see with him check in just a little bit more, but we're not the only ones. Take a look at this. This is to our neighbors in north in Green Bay that were getting ready for pregame grilling with a preseason getting underway tonight. It was hit hard by the storm. Yeah, not exactly the way they wanted to start. But earlier today, speaking of splash pads, heat was the big story with the weather. People were out doing their best to cool down and just enjoy that calm before the storm. Safe to say we have been talking weather all day long. So let's take a live look outside at the conditions right now. Interesting look at the clouds there as there's even still flashes of lightning tonight. And again, it's just not over. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Tom Watson now. Hey there, Tom. And it's going to be a long night for folks.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, Sam, we needed the rain. We didn't need all the rain at once, and we didn't need it to happen on a Saturday night with the core of the rain right over State Fair Park, right? 4 inches of rain around State Fair Park in a short amount of time. Take a look. This is why we have a flash flood warning in effect for most of Milwaukee County and eastern Waukesha County. So that includes Brookfield, includes New Berlin, that runs until 2 o'clock in the morning. This is serious. You saw all that video.
I thought that Waukesha was Waukesha. There's got to be at least one Waukesha walking around in the world. That's Waukesha, though. Waukesha. All right. That's all I mentioned that. Yeah, Waukesha. Yeah.
There. This is going to continue into the overnight hours. Everybody is under a flood watch that runs through Monday morning. So that means there's more rain on the way. All right, here's what's going on. Look at this. It's filling back in now from the south. So we've got the State Fair Park area. Of course, State Fair had to close because of all this rain, but now we're seeing it build in from the south. And this has been the issue tonight, where the storms fired up around State Fair and then more fired up to the southwest and kind of merged. Now we're seeing additional development. This is all because we have a low-level jet stream at about 5,000 feet that's going to continue to create these thunderstorms overnight. I mean, look at this. Look at all this activity just in the last few minutes. Western Racine, western Kenosha counties, more farther to the west as well that we're going to be watching. So this is all going to go poof and continue to expand as we go through the overnight. And with all the moisture in place, any of these storms could produce flash flooding. So if you're going to be heading out and about overnight, or you know folks in East Troy at the concert, text them, let them know to be extremely careful here with the water on the roadways. So this is what's coming in from the south now as we're looking from our Estabrook Park Tower camera. This wall of clouds heading into the city from the south. Temperatures will be in the 70s all night. On and off thunderstorms tomorrow with heavy rain, highs in the 80s. I'll have a complete look coming up in a few minutes, Sam, but more thunderstorms on the way. And back over to you.
Have to stay weather aware overnight.
Yes.
So, Tom, thanks for that message. The storms are likely responsible for a man's injury in Jefferson County today. The Palmyra Fire Department tells Fox 6 a man went into
the floods. Let me see. Yeah, so I'm just curious. I'm gonna do research on the show. A little bit of research. I'm looking it up right now. I'm getting this from an AI overview. While fossil fuels are a major contributor, global warming is primarily caused by the increase of heat trapping greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. These gases, including carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide, trap heat that would otherwise radiate into space, warming the planet. Human activities such as burning fossil fuels, deforestation, and agriculture release these gases, causing the warming trend. I just don't buy it. What I don't like and what I don't respect is the fact that people demonize fossil fuels. Nobody wants to say it's like, oh well, the flooding and the wildfires and the heat going up and everything like that. The melting of the polar caps or the ice, the glaciers and things like that. It's like, no, it's not at all fossil fuels. It's not at all fossil fuels. And to damn and to demean them and the minds behind fossil fuels is a travesty. It's ugly. It's disgusting. So we have to be on the lookout for that. This Milwaukee case and surrounding areas, the southeast Wisconsin, it just has to be, looked at in a totally different way than most people would do that. It's very difficult to say. So, yeah, but the state fairs, they are big business. They're a lot of fun. I think I've been to a few good state fairs. Delaware State Fair, I think I've been to before. I think I've been to New Jersey State Fair and a Maryland State Fair, something like that. I'm not sure, and I can't remember. My mind can't go back that far, but I've been to somebody's state fair. I just remember seeing deep fried whatever. You can just think about it, deep fried cereal, deep fried ramen noodles, deep fried, just say anything that you can say can be deep fried. But it's a pretty serious situation when it comes to property damage. Obviously, yeah, that's the first thing that came to my mind. Deep fried Oreos, deep fried waffles, deep fried Twinkies. That's always a staple. Deep fried Twinkies. Yeah, so state fair. They have the pie eating contest. They have the ugliest dog contest. They have what do they have? They have drag races. I think drag queens. Who is the best drag queen? Yeah, so that's what I think is possible, for these state fairs, and it's a shame that they had to cancel it, but that's what they have to do. Pause. That's what you have to do. You have to safety first when it comes to these situations. You want to make sure that everybody is safe and not at the sacrifice or cost of anybody. That's the thing. Bobbing for apples. Pause. Bobbing for apples, though. Yeah, that is true. They do that. That's usually in the fall. That's usually in autumn, though. Summer is more so corn eating, corn on the cob eating contest, watermelon eating contest. Gotta love those pictures of the Negroes eating the watermelon. I don't think anybody black eats watermelons at the state fairs. Very few. I don't think there's a lot of people black, foundational black Americans, eating any watermelons. So I think we can put that on a hold. Yeah. So I just keep going back at it. I read the books. I did, it's all champion. Nothing is against. That's what's so great about it. It's positive and it's championing it. I just need to know what the hell is causing those gases and what to blame and try to correct. Because that's the thing with America, with human beings. We're crafty. We get things done. We get things like this. We can't. What? I can't have this cart move over land. Oh, the wheel. And if you ever noticed, in all of nature, there is no sign of a wheel. Nothing. In all of nature, human beings were the first to ever create something that had nothing to do with nature. There was no wheel, no wheels, whatever. So that's what happened. I can move this cart now because there's wheels. I can go on this bicycle now because I can travel a little bit longer. I go on this car. I can go on this plane. I can go on this rocket ship. We're crafty. Why do we have to blame fossil fuels when we can start, putting together different situations where we are proponents of fossil fuels, and at the same time find other ways of creating energy and doing that, like nuclear energy. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Oh, rot with me. What are we doing? We just random Puerto Ricans created hip hop. Puerto Ricans created, going shopping at Italians' houses with clear plastic bags. That's how they do window shopping. That's what they created. No, Puerto Ricans did not create hip hop. They learned from the black man, the man of color, the black woman. Then he cracks up. Damn. I'm telling you, I'm serious. That's what they created. I'm trying to tell you the truth. It's a very old joke. I learned that from Mr. Troy Star Terrain. It's a question of the day. But anyway, yeah, so we need somebody else to be the boogeyman. I'm tired of fossil fuels being the boogeyman. They don't the people, the minds, the scientists, the engineers, the architects, the people of thought who instituted these different fossil fuel production facilities and things of that nature. All right, Bumba's going crazy. Will the defense please rise? Of course, everybody knows that, Bumba. He gonna say something different. Watch. He say, "No. How much time have you got for his sentencing? What time is it right now? 5 to 10? Perfect. 5 to 10." But yeah, so I just would love a boogeyman. Give me a boogeyman besides fossil fuels. Everybody says, no, my God, no. It's all about them burning the fossil fuels. Okay, so we may even not use fossil fuels, but we don't damn them. We don't demean. We're crafty. Human beings are crafty. We'll find a way. You say thank you for creating hip hop, paving a means of providing for the black community. Who says that? That's what you say, Bumba. Oh, that's what Bumba's supposed to say? Rot with me. You got the Puerto Rican flag. But if I call Rot with me a spick, then he'll stop saying, "Oh no, that's disrespectful. That's disrespectful." But he'll be like, nigga. Oh, this is good. I never heard this one. What do you call black rocket scientists? I don't know that one, Bumba. You gotta let me know. Fill me in. Pause. Elon Musk. What? Oh my God, he's just spelling it all out. Oh. He's from Africa, so technically black. Yeah. I got you. Yep. That's about right, Bubba. That's about right. Yeah. You can call him Dr. Nigger. Well, wild boy. That was a Howard Stern joke. Yeah, exactly. But one of my favorite nigger jokes is Patrice O'Neal. The late great Patrice O'Neal, rocking power to him. He was with Louis C.K. and Patrice O'Neal was like, yeah, you gotta go back to the origins of the words, like the word kike. The word kike stands for when immigrants were coming into Ellis Island and they couldn't understand English, so all they did was draw a circle, and that would symbolize them as Jewish people, what they were, and like that got shortened from Keiko to Kike, and kept going from there. Louis C.K. answered back. This is a good answer. This is a good clap back, kind of. He was like, you know how they found out the word nigger? They saw a nigger acting like a nigger, so they called him nigger. Oh, it's a classic. Oh my God. But that's the thing too. I'm starting to use Schwarzenegger. You can use Schwarzenegger. Look, watch. I'm gonna do it right now. Hold on. Because it's basically his name. Oh, you can't. That's the man's. Let me see if I can do this. I'm gonna say. So you can use nigger. Oh my God, you can say Schwarzenegger, but you can't use nigger? What if his name was just nigger? It's part of the man's name. That's funny. I can use Schwarzenegger, but I can't use nigger. That's funny. All right, so all you Schwarzeneggers out here. That is funny. But yeah, so this flooding, these wildfires, all of that. We've got the tools and we got the minds to use them. I'm not worried. I'm not saying the sky. Was that Swarzen Peggy? Swarzen Peggy. I don't understand what that means. Swarzen Peggy. All right. Right with me. You lost me, but that's okay too. But it just really is a shame, because people don't understand the reality of the fossil fuels. They just hear what they heard. It's CERN. Isn't that the large halogen creator? I can't remember. I can't pronounce it. But CERN. My Schwarzenegger. Okay, there we go. My Schwarzenegger. That's funny. It's CERN. But no, this is all fodder. This is all fodder saying people that see the fossil fuels. That's the reason why, and they're a major contributor to the reason why we have all this climate change and this global warming, and the reason why the polar bears are going off into the ocean and the glaciers are melting, and the sky is falling. Oh my God! Everybody's hair is on fire, running around, not knowing what they're saying, not knowing what they're doing. They haven't read the research. have read books like The Moral Case for Fossil Fuels and Fossil Future. Like I said, I'm all for fossil fuels. If we find another way, like nuclear and hydrogen, then we use that. We're crafty. Human beings are very crafty. We know how to go on to the next thing. Just think about the last, I don't know, 10,000 years. Just 10,000 years. How far we've come. We've had mud huts to mansions. You know, some subsistence farming to skyscrapers in a matter of a few thousand years, a few hundred years, few decades, from a few centuries to a few decades. We've created immense wealth, immense prosperity, enjoyment, quality, and standard of life, longevity of life. I'm not supposed to be. I got probably 2 years left. If this was 200 years ago, if I'm a man of color, you know, not a, I'm a free person. I'm a free man. Let's just say I'm a free man 200 years ago, and I would still only have about 2 or 3 years left in my life. It's very rare that somebody reached the age of 60 or 70 years old 200 years ago. Now with advances in medicine, which cause, how do you get those advances in medicine? You have to burn fossil fuels. How do you get the advances in technology? You have to burn fossil fuels. Earth does what it does. Nature is not predictable. We're just stupid humans. Some of us hybrids. How are we stupid humans? Could you quantify that? Can you explain that? Can you expound upon that a little bit more? Could you give specific examples of how we're stupid humans? How we're not creating and building and making and thinking and using our minds? I would love to know. All right, that is the show for Sunday. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate it. And I will see you sometime tomorrow, most likely in the morning. So take care. Be nice if I could close out this stream. Okay, I'm like, what the hell?